What's going on, everybody? This is Logan here at Vaporleaf today. I'm here again with the IPV6X. This is an exceptionally small and light dual battery box mod that can go up to 200 watts. Can also do temp control with nickel, titanium, stainless 304, which is a little different, from 212 to 572 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's go ahead and dive down and take a closer look at it. So here we are up close and personal with the IPV6X. Now, first impression of this device is, holy cow, it is tiny. It is so small, look at it. It's so much smaller than so many single battery devices on the market. How a lot of people are getting away with that now is this sliding hatch for the battery door. Now I will say, on this device, it does seem a little bit flimsy, but I haven't seen one of them break yet. We've sold a good number of them. You've got your positive marked up there, negative marked up there, so that is where that part of your battery is going to connect. And you can see, I mean, really thin walls. They're really cramming those batteries in there. There is just enough space. I don't even know where they put the board. Apparently crammed between the batteries there. Now this does look quite similar to the IPV400, but basically this is the symmetrical version. The button layout is really nice, really intuitive. Buttons are nice and clicky as well. Fits very comfortably in the hand with that rounded shape. You got the micro USB port up there, and of course your up and down buttons right here, and your screen just laying right underneath those guys. The finish is really cool as well. I've seen some of these guys get pretty well scratched up, and even then I think they look pretty nice. This is the purple color apparently. It looks very blue to me. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and get a couple of batteries in there. So we're just going to slide that hatch open. Negative matches with negative. Positive matches with positive. Close that up, slide it on, and we're good to go. And we'll go ahead and turn it on. 5 clicks, you got the Pioneer4you logo, IPV6X, a little reminder for you. And we're booted up. Now, I don't have an atomizer on there, so it's just going to say, check atomizer. But if I press either of these buttons, I can see what's going on with the screen. We've got our wattage right there, our voltage, resistance, puff counter, and then our battery life. I went ahead and threw an atomizer on there so you can see what that puff counter does. So when you hold the fire button down, it's going to count, tell you how long it's firing for, and then it's going to show you how many puffs you've taken. Now, to change anything on this device aside from just changing the wattage, of course by pressing up and down, you go into the menu. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. You're going to get up in here. To scroll through the menu, you're going to tap the fire button. So we've got system on. Either of these would turn the system off. Mode power or joule, we'll get into that in just a minute. The version, which just tells you the chipset, and exit, that's going to get you back out of the menu. So if we go back to mode, go into joule, that's going to be temp control. Now, these IPV devices are unique in that they use joules instead of just wattage for temp control, and joules are actually going to be the rate of power, so it's a really clever way of doing temp control. If we tap the fire button now, we get either Celsius or Fahrenheit. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on Fahrenheit. Tap the fire button again, you can set your maximum temperature. Again, 212 to 572 degrees. If we tap the fire button again, we get over into the coil material. We've got nickel, titanium, stainless, SX pure. I'm honestly not exactly sure what the deal is with that. Manual TCR, so you can run exactly what you want to run on there if none of the presets fit your fancy. Tap the fire button again, we're back to the chip, and then back to exit. Now when we exit in joule mode, of course we've got our joules here. It is a little bit slow with scrolling, but I mean that's kind of hard to complain about. And then we've got our voltage, resistance, that same puff counter, and of course our battery life. So I'm going to get it back to where I want it. I'm just going to do those 5 clicks on the fire button, get into the menu, go back to power, and exit, and then I'm up at 200 watts. Now, I'm probably going to start a little bit lower, but we'll get there. So let's go ahead and bring it up top and see how it vapes. Alright, so I've got it set up with my hilariously proportioned Zephyr Buddha V2, and we're currently at 100 watts, 0.32 ohms. I've got a Canthal and Nichrome fused Clapton on there, so there's some pretty beefy coils. They can soak up a lot of heat. Let's see how it does at 100 watts. It's not bad, but I think we can do better. Let's go 150. Now that's more like it. Excellent power delivery from this device. It does 150 watts no problem with those two batteries. Let's crank it up to 200 and see what happens. 200 watts. Wow, that's actually surprisingly good. I don't know if that's a little bit weak for 200. I normally don't run this RDA at 200, and that feels a little bit closer to like 180, 190. But it's still not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and drip on here a little bit more and see if it gets unbearable at 200 watts, because I know on my DNA 200 at 200 watts, this thing gets hot. Let's see what happens. And it's dry. You know, I'm not sure that that's a full 200 watts. It's still not bad though, and I can tell you for sure it hits harder at, when it's set to 200 watts than when it's set to 150, so that's something. And really, who runs it at 200 watts? Not many people. I know I don't. Outside of that, I'm really impressed with this chipset. It's really clever. I like that the temp control runs in joules. It's a little bit harder to get used to, because basically every other device runs off of wattage and that maximum temperature, where on this guy you set your maximum temperature and joules. But it's not that much different. It's really easy to get used to. But yeah, I really like the hand feel, I really like the finish. And I've seen these things take a beating too, which is really impressive, because with how light it is, I expected it to be about as durable as a box of tissues. Now the portability for a dual battery device is, I mean, it's ridiculous. Seriously, if you have a single battery device and it's a good size for you, you don't mind carrying it around, get one of these. It is not any bigger. It's fascinating. Overall, I'm not let down by this device. I think it's just fantastic. I think Pioneer4you did a really great job with their latest IPV. It's just great. And it looks hilarious with my 30mm Buddha on there. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. That was the IPV6X from Pioneer4you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. If you like the video, then of course like the video, let us know. And be sure to subscribe for all the latest and greatest videos from Vaporleaf. Thanks for watching. Bye.